Okay, the .NET bot is still exploring the ocean, trying to find the new things to learn more about .NET. But while we have that, we have this new amazing thing called AI. And now some people are scared about it, want to learn about it, or want to start on it. And here I'm with myself once again, and with Bruno. Say hi, Bruno, to everyone here watching .NET Conf Student Zone.
Hey, hello everyone. Super happy to be here. I think it's my third, fourth time on the Student Zone, .NET Conf Student Zone. I can't remember. It's always fun to do here because you also give me the chance to talk about AI and something fun. So, hey, let's go for it.
Let's go, absolutely. What do we have for us today?
Yes, so let me share my screen. And I am going to start different today. So, we are going to start by the end. This is kind of a very tailored version of the AI web chat that we have as a template. Remember, if you are in .NET, you are going to find the resources available here, but you can install one template, one specific template that is going to help you to create out of the box. I think we have two templates right now, one to create an MCP server, and we are going to talk a little about MCP, and the other one is to create this AI chat. This is a new version where you can see here that I changed a little, not Copilot helped me to change a little the UI and more. And out of the box, this is a chat that can run using GitHub models, so you can test it without any charge or whatever. So you can use GitHub models for free and test it, or you can use your Azure AI Foundry models, or you can use a local model with Olama. But what you can do is to start ask questions, do a little vector document database with two sample PDF, and you can ask questions like an example, tell me something about the GPS watch. So I am going to do this. Tell me about the GPS watch. So what is going to happen here while it's thinking, we can go because another important thing, and I really like this, Pablo, I don't know what you think about this, but when you create a new template with this, you have the chance to create just the front end, or you have the chance to create the front end orchestrated by Aspire. So we launch the application running in Aspire, as we see here, and we have access to traces. So where the traces are running, we can start to see an example right now what we are doing. So we ask the question, and we see here that we are orchestrating tool calling to ChatGPT 5 Mini, then it's doing a tool search, which is basically searching for the document, and then it's giving us the response. And what I like here is that at any time, we can even take a look and see each one of these AI parts here. We have the system message, the user message, the tool that we call, then we have here the response of the tool, where we see, okay, we found this super cool set of documents, and this is the output. And hey, at the end, what we also do as part of this sample is to generate a couple of sample questions to do kind of a follow-up of what are you doing here, of what are you asking. So if we go back here, we are going to see that we have the details about the GPS watch. We can open the documents and we can see a lot of things. If I open the document here, we are going to see that we even implement in the viewer the selection of what we are talking about. So this is out of the box. So this is fun. This is what I like. I don't know, Pablo, have you used this one? What do you think about the AI chat, web chat AI template? I never remember the full name.
So, don't worry about remembering the full name. So, the good part of it is that you can explore multiple ways that you can know how AI can impact the real world, right? That's a question that I usually got sometimes. So, how AI can impact what I do, right? And the good part is that AI with MCP tons of other toolings that we have, and now with Microsoft Agent Framework, can do tons of amazing stuff with .NET. And not only that, you can see that it deals with specifications, it can drag. So the basic techniques are already covered by everything on this sample. And not only that, you can learn much more with generative AI for beginners on that as well. So that makes you aware on how can you use AI to impact everything on we have. And that's the thing. The current trend is that AI is going to be embedded in a lot of workplaces, especially in early career jobs. So because of it, I'll be very aware of how to use AI tooling effectively and how to be smart about it.
Yes. And because this is kind of the core-based template, I was started to think, okay, how we can extend this? What else we can do? What are the places that we can add some fun here? So
Yeah, how can you have fun?
yes, so we have new models to generate images in AI Foundry. We have the GPT Image 1, we have Sora 2. I have a surprise also there later to generate videos and more. And we also have Flux 1. Flux 1 is a super popular model that you can use right now. I don't know if it's available. I don't think so in GitHub models, but you can use Flux 1 in Hugging Face, and we are going to see that later. So I extended this application and I said, in example, say, generate an image of a puppy. And what is going to do, and we are going to, let's refresh I think I lost it when I open here. What is going to do and what we are going to see when we generate this is that we have a new set of tools that are being calling on the back. So not only doing drag anymore. Right now, what we are going to do is call basically an image generator that is going to generate something like this. And hey, it's kind of nice. You can download the tool and more. And once again, if we go here and we don't lose the trace, this is the one. We are going to see that we have a tool that is generating the image, and this tool is generating the image locally in my disk. But we can see that this is a tool calling the community services, Azure AI deployments, Flux 1.1 Pro that I have here in one of our demo accounts. So how do we build this? Where do we start? How do we extend the initial AI chat that we had with a couple of RAG and documents to also be able to do this? And by the way, we have the full process here. So I don't know if do you want me to take a look and see if we can change the puppy breath? Let's
On the
see.
absolutely. And one thing I would like to comment on this as well is that you can see how Aspire makes you too easy to debug. You can see how easy Bruno traced everything that he did from like his first command on like saying, "Hey, do this puppy image," to him creating it, seeing what it called, what etc. And that's a nice thing about .NET, right? It's so easy to debug with the nice tool that it has, including Aspire. And here you can see how including with AI and embedding itself, it can be very nice and a breeze to look on how the inner work is work without being confused about all the errors and the things in your chat.
Yes, and hey, when I use one of the questions to change the puppy bread and ask me follow-up questions about the bread, and I usually don't need to do this when you work with a large language model. Go crazy, do something amazing. But hey, it went crazy and did something amazing, and we have here probably the cutest. This is a husky. I think
It
it's
is
very
a
similar
house.
to my dog. The husky.
Oh
I don't
wow,
know
really?
where a lot of lights and more. Hey, and we have here, as you mentioned, we have here the full conversation. So we have context. We are talking. So what is happening in the back here? So this is the moment that, yes, once again, we can go here and start to see the whole set of threads and everything that's happened. Somewhere here, we should have everything. But what I like, and as you mentioned, is that Aspire is going to give us these advanced tools. And we have here also the chance to analyze the message that we have, original system message. Then we have the user. Then we have the Siberian Husky puppy that we can do a lot of things here, but this is the .NET Conf, so let's start to see some .NET Go. Okay,
Yay, let's do some .NET.
perfect. So this is the project. So let's keep this one open here. So this is the project that we have at the beginning. This is the project that we've been running. You are going to find the final results in the resources of the event. So let me open one where we are going to start to talk about what we have here. And I know, Pablo, I talk a lot about this in the past. Sorry about this, but I think it's nice to have this as kind of a conversation in terms of, hey, let's start to learn what we can do. So once I open Visual Studio, there it is. Of course, it's in the other monitor. Let's start with the first concept of what we've seen. So right now, we have a web application that is using an agent in the back, and we are going to see how the agent works. And the agent is connected to a set of tools, and it's connected to a tools that allows you to search in a vector database, another tool to generate images. It's also manage memory, and it's use a large language model in order to provide you some answers. So the core part here of this is that we are using one of the new packages. We are one of the new uh, elements that we provided and we published in Microsoft, which is the Microsoft Agent Framework. And the Microsoft Agent Framework is an amazing tool. It's an amazing package that we have right now. If you go to see the details and go to the README, then we go here, and we are going to see that we are still in preview. Maybe when we publish this, is already published and more, but we are in version 1.0.0 preview 25, and we have implementations to use this in C# with vector databases locally or in the cloud with providers like Azure OpenAI or Foundry or Olama and more. But the ABC of how it works is very easy. It's literally, we are going to use a large language model. And when we have a large language model and think GPT models, think Cohere model, a Llama model, and more, when you have the model, we are going to create an agent. So I have here created a very simple application. This is a .NET application that basically read my user secrets of my application. I already set up this to save some time. And then it's going to create an OpenAI AI client. And this AI client is using Microsoft Extension for AI, which Microsoft Extension for AI is our core base of libraries for everything AI related. So we can see here that we are creating an OpenAI client only using an endpoint, and then we have a deployment name, which I think I am using right now, GPT-5. One important thing to mention here is that I am not running this using the API key. Even if I can run this with the API key, and for some scenarios is cool for you to use the API key, if you don't have the chance, we strongly advise everyone to always use integrated security. So right now you see here that my credential is not an API key credential, it's a CLI credential because I already I authorize myself using my command line interface. But you can test with API key, that's cool, but I will say that never go in production using API keys with keyboards and more. If you can use managed extensions, go for managed extension. And this is kind of an old school suggestion, but I don't know, Pablo, what do you think about this?
I gotta say right away, security in the AI age is more important than ever. And because of it, it's it's a very big recommendation for us, especially both like in the companies I talk with, even here at Microsoft, we are suggested to like go away from the API keys and go directly to credentials. If you don't know how to do credentials, don't worry. For some people that they are so used to do API keys, right? Because when we are in university, we are, oh, let's copy and paste the endpoint, the thing, which is no, it's easy, it's fun, you just copy and paste, put the end, and you forget it, right? But even with like environment, sometimes the environment can leak, right? So it then leaks, and then you have the key to solve this endpoint. It's not good. It's no bueno. So because of that, I would really recommend for you to take a look at how to do with the credentials. Don't worry, you can go very easily. I'm gonna ask you to log in, and then boom, it's very breezy, it's nice, and then you can go and use as normal as usual, and you're much more secure. And you don't need to forget about, oh no, I committed my keys into my GitHub. So that is a problem that sometimes I did that once. Really, I had that. Oh man, I did that while I was talking. So don't worry, it's usual to do like mistakes like it, and then but the important is to learn and how to go forward with that.
Yes, and if you go for integrated managed credentials, you are going to forget about the keys, so you are not going to have that problem. But in example, one scenario where you are going to use the keys if you are using GitHub models because you need to pass or save in your environment your token, the personal access token that GitHub give to you to access this. But remember, API keys are fine to use while testing and learning, never in production if you can avoid that. That said, let's go back here. We have a chat client. We have this amazing Azure OpenAI client. So what we can do right now? We can do a couple of things. So we can do I can do an agent and do a new chat client agent. So we have a chat client agent. And then when I create my agent, what I can do is basically add my client. So that is going to create a client, but this is an agent, sorry, but this is kind of a boring agent. Let's add some personality here to an agent. So what I can do here right now is I can add set of options, and the options are going to ask me where I'm going to do the name, instructions, and more. That's one other way to do it. Another one, it's which I like more, it's basically do pick up the clients that we have, and here ask this to create an agent. So we have here another option. We have another option, which is here to create an AI agent. And I like this one. And again, this is all depending on your the way that you like to code. But I like to have the clients and then the client create an agent from the chat client because it kind of makes sense. So let's do a name here, and the name is going to be NET Conf Student Zone, Conf Student Zone, and then also let's set up some instructions, like an example instructions where we are going to basically define that you are a useful agent that always reply a helpful assistant. There it is. So
The
we have this. We have already created our first agent, and again, it's the silliest agent ever, but it's kind of works and it's kind of nice because right now I can do something. Let me copy and paste about. Let's do something like this to basically say, okay, give me a response where we are going to have the agent and we are going to say, hey, run and write a short story about the haunted house. This we are close to Halloween. Halloween is already done here. No, let's story about .NET Conf. Let's see what we have here. And then when we run this, let's set up this start project. What we're going to have is ABC, create an agent, create a project. And when we have create a chat client, then create an agent. And when we have the agent, we are going to have the agent running. Here is the console. And after a couple of seconds, we are going to have a long story about, in this case, is the .NET Conf. And by the way, I am not using streaming here, but the agents also give you, if you want, the chance to do streaming. So you are going to get token by token the generation, and you're going to have a lot of stuff. Did I put a breakpoint here? No, it's still working. It's going to create, oh my
Oh,
God,
wow.
a very long story, a very long story about the .NET Con, 3 days of keynotes, breakout sessions, and more. But this is literally as easy as you can do to create an agent. You don't need anything else. You don't need anything more. You have here the created agent from a chat client that you have here, and then you can create an agent and ask for the instructions. What do you think, Pablo?
I think that's amazing. You can even see like we do 10 lines of code and you have an agent in .NET. Usually people think that scripting languages are like I gotta give I'm not saying comparing myself like against Java, against Python, against like script JavaScript. But I'm saying that you can see that people think, oh, .NET is convoluted. .NET is a little bit harder to write. But you can see we did it so easily. We just created this new chat client, puts into the variable agent, and then it just get a simple response. And boom, that's it, right? So it's the power of like what can we do with agents in .NET is that it is easy to do, a few lines, and you already have a fully complete agent to do anything that you want.
Yes, and a lot of people ask when we are talking about this because the whole idea of the agent framework is to start in a simple way and then go to production. And you sometimes start in simple ways means, in example, can I use any of the frameworks that we have to do local agents like Olama or AI Foundry Local and more? And yes, if you want to take a look of a very similar agent but running in Olama, these are the 20 lines of code that you need to do this. First of all, you create an Olama client. When you have your Olama client here, which is the chat client, then you do chat client. And this is the other way. Remember that I show 1 and 2 and I use 2. This is kind of the original one when you create a chat client and then you pass the options. And let's do this story that engine creative. Let's do short stories that are engaging and creative and always add bad jokes to them. So we are going to have a writer here that is going to do this. Let's write a short story about .NET Conf once again. So let's add this, but in this case, we're going to run this in Olama. Olama is a application that we are really fan of it and allows you to run your models locally and you can download models and more. Most of the popular models are already here. I like to run Olama here in my Docker container. So you see here that I have a container that is Olama and it's running. Let's clear the outputs. And if I go to my terminal, this is the terminal of the container. You can see here that I have, these are the models that I have locally, Llama 3.2, All Mini LM, 5.4, and more. So this is the model that I am running right now. And what I am going to do, I'm going to run this. And because we are using Llama 3.2, it's going to take some time to basically run and do everything. But in order to take a look as how it's working, let me also start a super cool application, the Super Console application. And this is a GPU viewer that one of the friends that we have in the .NET show that we run every 2 weeks on the .NET channel created. So instead of going to my task manager and see GPU or use another, this is a super, super lightweight viewer. An important part here is that I ran this, but I didn't explain the start. The start of my GPU viewer is .NET Run. .NET Run and directly one C# file. I am not using a project. I am not using anything. I just have a couple of 50, 30, I can't remember. You can take a look how many lines that we have here in a CS class, and this is doing everything. And this is a new super cool feature that we have in .NET 10. So let's start the viewer one more time. And when I have my GPU viewer here, let's start the application. Let's minimize this. And we are going to see a couple of things. Let me put here this one and this one here. We are going to see that the GPU is going to start. Yes, Pablo, sorry.
Oh, no, don't worry. One thing I may add is that how cool is it, right? That you can run things locally. And that's a thing that's another misconstruction that people sometimes have say, oh, no, I'm using Microsoft stuff. I need to do proprietary. No, we are fully connected, open source, and easy to use. As you can see in the case here with Olama, but you can use tons of open source models. You can choose between GitHub models, you can go and use Azure, but you can go as one use Olama if your computer handles it. It's amazing and a very nice, quite way to do a lot of things with Olama.
Yes, and this is this is a kind of a small model, so it didn't literally make my GPU work. But if I change, remember, if I go back here to Olama and I ask Olama, hey, Olama, show me the process that you are running, said nothing up here. But if I change and I ask to use GPT OSS, this is the moment that we are going to start to see our, where is my AgentFX demos? This is the moment that we are going to start to see how the GPU is going to work a lot more because this is a heavier model. This is going to literally start to use a lot of resources. And if I go back here and I take a look at the chat, we are also going to see how it takes a couple of seconds to start the model. So I will leave everything here. So if people wants to start to chat and more, oh, there it is. It's working here. Oh, I think I ran the wrong one. Let me go back here. AgentFX. No, let's go to AgentFX demos.
It is. Yeah.
Yes, let's run the set a startup project, Olama, double check, and let's go back here to the GPU. Oh, I think I need to put the full name here.
Oh, yeah, you need to put the full name.
This is
People,
one.
we are actually recording this. It is not it's pre-recorded, but even if it's pre-recorded, we still have everything that makes a live demo a live demo.
Yes, and you can see here how we start to have the spike when we are running this. But hey, good things, we can run agents, we can run a lot of things also locally. If you want, you can learn by running locally. And again, models like GPT OSS, Llama, 5.4, and more are super, super useful to do this. So let's stop the viewer. Let's stop here Olama, and let's continue learning about our process. So we have here, as I mentioned at the beginning, we have here the very simple way to create an agent, but how we add feature to an agent. Remember that we talk about we can use, like an example, do RAG and add some tools to an agent. So it's going to search in a vector database, or we can generate images and more. So this is the moment that we are going to switch to our next demo that is going to start to talk about MCP. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. Is a super, super popular protocol that we have right now to basically create AI applications and to consume AI services, AI resources, AI tools, and more. And it was created a long time ago, not a long time ago, in November last year, literally 1 year ago, and it became kind of the standards to everyone. And we have here right now, let's close all of this. We have here one amazing package, again in .NET, to work with MCP. So as before I show you how we have the agent package, now we also have here the model context protocol package. It's also in progress. It's following everything new that comes to the MCP specification. But what we have here is the chance to basically start to implement tools using MCP. So if you are, an example, using Visual Studio Code, and I use half and half for both of them. If you are using Visual Studio Code, you are probably going to, and you're using Copilot, you probably already seen this small feature that we have here in the bottom, where you can use which model do you want to work, agent, plan, ask, edit, and you also have the model that you want to use. What is the mode? This is the model, GPT-4, GPT-5, Mini, and then you have an example here, the tools that you want to use. These tools are mostly MCP server-based tools. So you can add new tools here in an easy way. If you want to learn about what tools you have, and you see here that they have tons of servers connected, I like to go to the official MCP registry that we have here and start to search here for the ones that we like. I don't know, Pablo, if you have any preference here on where do you find your MCP tools.
Oh, I find my MCP tools, they the MCP, the focus on MCP, as I have a repo for it. But actually, I gotta say one thing that's gonna surprise you, Bruno. It's the first time hearing about this website. Please send me after this. I actually want to explore this. This sounds amazing.
It's super easy to get here, github.com/MCP, but I always get here when I forgot. I go to the home page of Visual Studio Code, and then I click on MCP here, and that's it. We are in the MCP registry, which is the one that we just seen. But yes, it's MCP, github.com/MCP. And you can see here that we have MCPs to the Markdown, which is a converter for any type of document to Markdown. We have the MCP, the GitHub server. We have third-party servers like Notion, Microsoft Learn. There are a lot of things. The one that I use and the one that I can show you that we can probably use to generate images is Hugging Face. And Hugging Face, I already have it here opening. Hugging Face server is the official MCP server, and you can install the server because MCP, as we mentioned, is a standard. You can install the Hugging Face in a lot of tools like Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio, or other AI tools. And then you can even get and start to see how you can do this. So we have here, this is the setting page, and most of the MCP are installed basically usually in the JSON definition. In this case, you only need the URL. This is a server-side running server MCP. So you're going to connect to a server, you can run MCP locally. So there are different ways to do this. But let's stop here and talk a little about Hugging Face, because you are probably thinking, what is this Hugging Face stuff? What are we talking about? So Hugging Face is kind of the GitHub, but for AI. I used to spend a lot of time here, not anymore. I don't know, Pablo, if you go to Hugging Face to see what is new and more, or are you using any Hugging Face resources?
I'm gonna say right away, I actually do use some Hugging Face resources. For example, I'm gonna give you a very niche example. For instance, I was testing with some RAG things. And for like very local samples, if you want to do some RAG, Hugging Face is pretty good because they have like very light models for like embedding, like 384, quick, nice, fresh, right? So Hugging Face is incredible to do everything that you need from AI. And Azure has it as well, right? So that's a nice thing. Okay, they opt out, go in, we use Azure or just using Hugging Face. The Hugging Face models are incredible. And it's a pleasure to explore this with tons of millions of people that use Hugging Face as well.
Yes, and we can see here that literally we have someone, and there are millions of models here, by the way. But we have here that a couple of hours ago, they updated this Bio EMU model, which I don't know what is this. It's a large-scale deep learning model for efficient prediction biomolecular.
Wow, that seems advanced.
That seems to be a nice one and more, but there are a lot of models, and you can see that Microsoft published their models here. OpenAI, DeepSeek, Meta, everyone who is doing models in a free way that you can download and use it, the model is probably going to be here. The same with dataset, documentations, and more. But what I really like is that they have, not this one, in this one, in the tools that they have an MCP, and you can access tools. You can access here a set of tools where you can search papers, because there are a lot of academic papers here from the models and AI, data sets, you can search for models, or you can use a couple of minutes, I can't remember how many minutes per day, of free GPUs to run this Flux One shell model, which is an image generation model, which is also part of Hugging Face. So if you configure this and you use it, you're going to have it in your machine ready to use. So you can create a free account here, you can create an account for free, and then have a couple of minutes to use an image generator model if you don't go and have the models like I have here in Azure OpenAI, where we have here the models and deployments, and I have the Flux One Pro, which you can see that I just deployed this latest version of this and I've been using for some testing. So if you don't want to use credits for your model, you can easily use the model with Hugging Face. But the different part here is that this is an MCP. So how we can connect this, how we can do the MCP part. So I have here the second demo that we have. We have a chat client provider. So this one is ready to create a chat client as we've seen before. And then we have here an MCP client provider that is going to use the MCP clients that we've seen before, the package that we see, and then is going to create these lines of code, which is basically everything that we need. You're going to create a header because we need to pass a token. You can create your token from your Hugging Face account. So this is kind of the authorization tokens. So you are going to put your token here, which I have as part of my user secrets. And then we are going to create an HTTP client transport where we are going to put the Hugging Face URL that we've seen on the JSON. We are going to add the name, we are going to add the headers with the key, and then when we create the client, we are going to get the list of tools. And in this specific scenario, I'm returning both. I'm returning the list of tools and the client. There are better ways to do this, but I like to do this in an easy way so we can start to chat and more. And here, what we are going to do, let me copy and paste the first line of code. We are going to basically create, let's remove this, create a Hugging Face, a collection of clients and tools, and then we are going to write the name of the tools. So I am going to connect to the servers and I'm going to write the name of the tool. So if we run this, let's see if we don't have an issue, build and run agent FX2. We are going to see here that we have who am I, search for space, search for model, search for paper, the Flux One here, infer. So this is what we just seen. So this is as easy as it is to connect and use in a chat if you want to connect to an MCP server. But at the same time, how about if I want to create a chat client? We've seen this before. So we are going to create a chat client, no news here. And then let's create a image generation agent. And this one is going to be a little longer, a little more verbose, but mostly because I am going to add two things which are also super important. First, all of these frameworks out of the box are, I will say that all of them, because in the ones that I've seen, they all are ready to be traceable. So it's going to give you a lot of information around traceability. So we are going to have the chance to, okay, let's see what's happened. How many tokens did I use? How much time did it take? Which is the endpoint that I call and more. So there are, can't remember all, but there are a lot of values that we can trace, and it's amazing. It's super useful to have them. So when we create the chat client, create an agent, I'm going to provide a name for the agent. It's going to be image generation, and I'm going to provide a set of instructions. So when I am going to ask create an image, the server, the agent is know, okay, if someone asks you to create an image, use the Hugging Face server. Use this model, and the image should always be pixelated and with size, I don't know, 256, 256. Let's create the small images. So size 256. So we are going to define here basically how the agent should behave. Very similar to what we did before. Then I'm going to add and pass to the agent the tools that we have from before. These are the tools that we created and get from the MCP. So we connect to Hugging Face, we are going to get the list of tools and we are going to pass it here. And you can add more tools if you want. You can add, in example, in the websites that we show at the beginning, in the web chat, we have a mix of tools that do image generation and document search. You can mix tools from different MCP servers. You can control everything that you have there. Then we are going to use the open telemetry. Super important. We want to have, as I mentioned, we want to have telemetry. We want to see what is happening. And then at the end, let's add some questions. Let's use the agent and let's see what is the name of the user logged into the Hugging Face MCP server, and let's run this async. At this moment, when I run this,
Run.
yes, I build and run, it's going to show me, of course, the first set of tools, and then I am logging with my bearer, with my token, with
Wow,
Bruno.
now it's Bruno.
That's my name. So if I go here back to Hugging Face, there it is, and we see here into my account, this is my profile, El Bruno. So this is what we have right now. And hey, I even get, remember that we enable telemetry. So I know that for these specific interactions, I use the GPT-5 mini model. I use how many tokens? I think the tokens are somewhere here. We have the finish agent stop. We have input token 2950, a short answer, El Bruno. So a couple of tokens in the answer and more. This is what's expected. And hey, that's it. As easy as to call, and this is as easy as we want to do to call to call a tool. If we want to change, of course, here, if we want to change our behavior and generate an image, we can do something like generate an image. I don't know. Raccoon in Canada is my go-to demo, but Pablo, do you have any preference?
I do have the .NET Submarine. I don't know if I can try to handle it, but
Let's see what it's doing. The .NET Submarine. Let's try to do
let's
the mix.
see it.
Yes, let's try to do a mix here. So
Bruno, I have a question for you. What is your favorite MCP tool? Like, imagine that I'm starting exploring MCP and I want to learn of some tools. Would be Microsoft's Learn, or have some other recommendations as well to learn a little bit on how I can use those MCP tools?
So the two that I have all the time enabled in most of my IDEs are the Microsoft Docs, the Microsoft Learn, which is basically because I want to, when I generate code, when my Copilot is helping me to generate code, I want them to, oh, sorry, it's open here. We didn't test it, but I'm going to show it. So I like to generate code using the latest documentation that we have. Sometimes the model doesn't know how to do anything, but if you connect them to the right data sources, they're going to be good in doing that. And Microsoft Learn is for that. And the other one is a very similar, is Context 7, which has also a lot of information about how to use AI in scenarios. So those are the two that I use a lot, and of course GitHub. GitHub is kind of part of the IDE right now.
How about that? Oh, I gotta say right away, and my answer is the same. But I do like the GitHub one because the GitHub one allows you to even control your GitHub from your agent window. So you can actually say push, get everything, but without even typing. It really is smart and can do a lot of things. And for me, I'm going to be a little bit biased. I'm really like, modernization. So I actually love like the GitHub modernization for .NET.
Oh yes,
It's something that is amazing. It works really nice. And the thing I always love to show, at least when I go to conventions, and say, hey folks, you can modernize this. So yeah, it's like, hey, I can help you even modernize applications as well.
yes. So hey, this is what our models think about the .NET Submarine and a Raccoon in the which I mean, if I go back to my prompt, to the prompt that we use, this is fine. This is good.
This is
A
fine,
raccoon
yeah.
in the .NET Submarine. So yes, this is a raccoon in a submarine that seems to be a .NET one. So I can't complain, but my guess is that this model doesn't understand the concept of the .NET Submarine, our mascots, and one of the things that we have. But I like it. It's kind of fun.
We needed some image to image thing, probably, but that's not much more things that we planned. But
Yes, I mean, it's not part. That's a nice segue. So it's not part of the set of MCP tools, but the Flux One model allows you to do image to image. So if you want to do image to image, you have the chance to do this. As part of the generative AI for beginners repository, we have this set of demos where, let me hide here Foundry and more, where we have the one that we just seen using AI and we're creating an agent and the agent connected to MCP and more. This is literally what we just code here. And the second one, it's a similar one, but in this one, what we are going to do, we are going to create a tool and the tool is going to be an image generation. And this image generator is going to create an image using literally the endpoint of Flux One. Where we have here the endpoint, we have a couple of tools to use. We have a base path with generations that is going to generate an image based on the prompt, or you have, can't remember the name of the second one, which is kind of image to image. So you can pick up an image, you can pick up two images and say, use this base image and generate something on top of that. I don't have the demo right now here, but when you are going, but this is going to be ready in later today because I need to publish and more, but this is literally the same.
Yeah.
But yes,
So
Flux One give us the chance to do that. Yes, sorry, Pablo.
one thing I'm gonna say is that if we're really interested, I'm even gonna just say this when we go end this talk as well, because I know already what I'm gonna plug, right? Because I'm the host. It's a good part to be the host. I already know I'm gonna be call to action. But the thing is, generative AI for beginners.net is the place to learn generative AI in .NET. It is easy, the language is fun, and you can do this and much, much more, with me and Bruno talking about much more about generative AI. So if you have any interest there, take a look at generative AI for .NET. It's incredible.
Yes. So with everything that we are getting close to the end, so everything that we learn, everything that we see, let's go back. Let me switch here to another branch. So let's here to Bruno Upgrade to AI. Let's go back to our AI web chat and let's review the changes that we did in order to get this. Remember that initially this, besides the cosmetical change, the UI style and change, we start here where we have here basically the creation of a GPT-4 mini or GPT-5 mini model and embedding. And I already have also the Foundry model with Flux One, but the changes happen all in the front, where at the beginning, I have a huge system prompt here, where I
Wow.
find that you are going to be an agent that is going to help people do document Q&A. So if someone asks a question, you first need to search your database of documents to see if you can answer the question. If you find something, reply with the citation file, so we can use the names there, and then image generation. If someone asks question about image generation, you are going to use the tool for image generations. And if you have combined request, first perform the search and then cite the results and do the request. So this is kind of the standard prompt. Then what we do here is we add the GPT-5 model, we add this OpenAI client, and we are going to add the chat client, the chat agent. Remember how we create the agent. So I have my chat client here, and then I said, create an AI agent. I am going to have the name, the system prompt, and then I'm going to add the two tools, the both tools that we see. A search tools that is going to do the vector search and image generate from prompts tool. So this is literally what we've seen before by part. Once I have my agent, that's it, it's ready to go. And I only add here my search functions also, so we can use embeddings. Sorry, we can use DI here, so we have it as service. Then on the chat page, I go to my chat page, I open the chat. A couple of things are going to happen here. I'm going to embed my chat client. I'm going to embed the generation service just for clean stuff. This is another prompt, but I was testing it to clean this. But what I'm going to do is when we start, we are going to get the agent based on the name. So we are going to say, hey, service provider, give me the agent that we have here, the AI agent. And then when we ask questions, when we start to interact with the chat and more, we are going to basically say, hey, agent, do the streaming part. Remember that we told that the agents also support the streaming. So do the streaming part, give me the response using streaming, and show me what you have there. And that's basically it. I mean, there are a lot of other changes in this specific sample because I wanted to have a different look and feel. I wanted to have kind of a nice, there is no viewer for image. So I create an image chat viewer that is going to show you the little image. And if you click on the image, it's going to show you the big image. But those are the changes. Literally, add an agent, add some tools, and connect the agent to the tools. And then you can run it, and it's going to be very, very similar to the one that we've seen before, because this one is not using the chat client, is using agents. So I can go here and let's ask the same question here. Generate an image of a raccoon and the .NET submarine. So let's see how it works here. And this is the same model, but in the cloud. If I go here to the traces, we are going to start to see here the different calls and more. And let's see the Flux one. If it's the one in the cloud, we have here generate image from prompt. So we have what we are doing, the model that we are calling, the model in the cloud. We have the response here. So we have the image generated. I can't see a submarine here. I don't
We
know.
we need to improve our prompt engineering on that. I think he just like submarine is like he's just there, right? He's
Yes, we need to remake it. I like it. I mean, it's nice. And by the way, doesn't have the pixelator. This is generating kind of a high level images, so you can see here how they work. And by the way, this is not high level. As far as I remember, in the image generator, we have somewhere here when I write this, we have one of the configuration is do the standard, and I think the other values is HD. Let's see if we have HD, what we have. But once again, this is all starting to play with the different models, different options, different everything, and start to see what we have. One more time, .NET. Oh, let's ask only for the .NET submarine.
yeah, let's go generate a .NET submarine. In the sea.
In the ocean, in the Arctic ocean.
Wow.
And I hope HD was the right value there, because this is a string, and if I have the wrong value, we are going to have some weird error where we're going to see only allowed values are standard and whatever. But hey, it seems that it's working because, oh no, it's probably big one, a very big one. We can go here.
We need to go to
I can go to the traces.
and you're gonna open your files, yeah.
And see here the tool. So this is the generated image. Ooh. But I think
Fine.
I can't see .NET.
I'm fine with that. It's already a submarine. I think we need to be more specific on the .NET part, but that's fine. I gotta say purple submarine because that's the thematic is our purple. You know, our .NET bot is exploring every single place to bring you. How can you learn .NET? And not only that, is bringing like all the speakers from .NET Conf. You know, they already out of way. I'm here at this nice place in the beach. I'm not in the beach really, but you know, I'm close to it, so I'm gonna be tropical. And you see, even like the big sun. Oh no, the sun, it's just a lie. But these are the fun things about us here in the .NET Conf Student Zone, right? We learn so much. We learn how to do things and how we implement those in everywhere. Bruno, any last messages?
No, hey, just to invite everyone to start to play with this. This is super fun. This is super easy to start to play. As you see, with a couple of lines here and there, you can build end-to-end solutions, use the templates, use the model, use more, because I don't know, I like it a lot. And then now we have MCP. There are also a lot of things that we can do. There are coming new things coming, ASINs coming. Hey, fun days to start to do .NET stuff.
Exactly. Folks, if you want to learn more, please, I'm gonna say right away, you have so many resources here at .NET Conf Student Zone to make you learn about that. Not only that, but we have certain investors that are doing a lot of like learning paths so you can go and actually learn much more. So I really appreciating having Bruno here. Bruno, thank you so much for giving this amazing talk to the folks at .NET Conf Student Zone. And folks, I appreciate here, but we are not over. We have much more to come. Take it away, Pablo.